What's happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the channel. Once again, I want to thank everybody so much for all the positive support and love on all the rebuilds that we've had so far, especially the Porsche. Today we're going to jump back into this F350 rebuild. Last time I kind of showed you a little bit what we were doing with the truck. We worked on the bed some. Today we're going to finish up the brake system on it. We're going to take this truck for a drive. We're going to get it out on the road. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and get this power booster installed. I did go ahead and get this thing rebuilt. It was Power Booster Exchange Incorporated in Oregon. They did an awesome job. As you can see, it looks excellent, super quick, very good turnaround, even though they have a lot going on. I'll leave a link down in the description if you guys want to get any of your stuff rebuilt. They do a lot of the weirder stuff, the stuff that's hard to find, so it was real nice of them to be able to do that for me. Also went ahead and got a new 74 Dual Master for this thing. We'll go ahead and get this thing painted up and get it stuck on there as well. All right, when installing it here, we've got 4 bolts that come back from underneath the firewall here, and then the clip for the brake lever. All right, y'all, as we saw, we got the booster and the master put on, so now we've got power assisted brakes. We do need to do a little bit of bleeding real quick now that we've got that on there and there's some air in the lines. We'll do that real quick and we'll take this thing for a drive. All right, so we got the brakes bled and the fluid topped off. I'm gonna go ahead and stick the rear taillight mount brackets on so we can get our license plate on, so we see if we get some taillights working on this thing. All right, y'all, brakes are bled, fuel's topped off, coolant's topped off. We're ready to take this thing for a drive. I'm gonna loop it around the neighborhood really quick, see how everything does, and then we're gonna get this thing out on the road.
Okay. Want to go for a drive? You got first gear, second, third, and fourth.
Kind of an odd pattern, hadn't seen one like that, and the reverse is up here. It's showing a 5-speed here, but it's obviously not a 5-speed. A little goofy. Looks great. Rubbing is actually just the draft off of these mirrors. Ah! Find somewhere to pull over. Alright guys, so this thing's doing awesome so far. We got it out on the road a little bit, got up to about 50 miles an hour. It rides really well. Obviously it's a big truck, so it drives and rides like a big truck, but it's doing really good so far. We're going to jump out here and get it on the highway real quick and see how it does. This thing is doing awesome for its first drive since '88. Everything's looking really good in here. As it's smoothed out, it's kind of picked up its idle a little bit, so I will have to kick it down some. Man, this is a good looking truck. Thing under here looks really good, no leaks or anything. We are leaking it, well, no leaks. We are leaking a good bit of oil all the way around the valve cover. So that'll be one of the first things we need to do, as well as put an exhaust manifold or a header on here. Everything else looks like it's doing really good. Temperature staying great. No leaks out of the radiator or everything. Everything's doing really well. I am so happy with this truck. I hope you guys like it. I really want this thing to be a part of the channel and be able to take it around to car shows and stuff, put some of our other builds behind it, and be able to meet with you guys and hang out and have a good time. Get this thing back to the house, let's clean it up. Let's try to detail this thing a little bit, get some compounded wax on it, and really see how this sucker shines. All right, he's gonna drive it though. Double clutch. All right, so we're back at the house. Also, I had a couple viewers suggest using this CLR to try to clean up some of the surface rust on the Rabbit pickup truck. I'm going to try it out on this truck and see how it does. There's not a ton of major surface rust on this truck, but there's a few spots here and there. We're going to hit it, get this thing cleaned up, dry it off so we get some compound and wax on this thing. All right, as you can see, that worked pretty good. I did end up going using at least on this paint, just because I think some of the rust is a little deeper. I don't know. I did end up using some 2000 grit sandpaper, so we didn't put any deep scratches in the paint or anything, but we just rubbed some of that rust off. We're gonna go ahead and do this whole back section so we can let it start drying so we can get some compound and wax on it so we can really see what it's gonna look like. All right, y'all, now that we've got a pretty clean surface, we will need to pull the hood off. I need to replace the hinges anyways. They're not the happiest. And I'm gonna sand it somewhere. We may end up clear coating the hood, but I think the rest of the truck, there's no paint no metal surface showing, just the paint and then the primer underneath. So I think it'll have a good look, and I don't think there's gonna be any issues with rusting. This thing dried off good, and then we're gonna take our polish and let's polish this thing up and see how good we can get it looking. All right, y'all, so I'm not by any means a detailer, but I'm gonna give this a try. Is this 7-inch electric polisher sander that I picked up from Harbor Freight. Got a polishing pad, and I don't have any polish, but I've got this yellow wax mirror glaze. Now this is a pretty dull paint job. These old single layer paint, no clear coat or anything. So I'm not gonna worry about cutting it or compounding it. I'm just gonna hit it with some wax and see how it polishes up. We may have to end up going back and compounding it first before we try to wax it. But let's see what this does and see how it comes out. What's happening, y'all? It is the next day. We did some more waxing on this thing. Let me show you what all we've done so far and how it's looking. But I'm gonna ride over to my parents' house, so what we gotta do real quick now is let's get our lights figured out. So we got brake lights and running lights and everything. Let me show you real quick. This is before. This is, this is after. This is just with, I need to remove the badge. This is just with wax. You see, it's not quite shiny, but it's not super dull. But that's how this thing would have came from the factory, and it's just got a cool look to it. I'm extremely surprised. So as you can see, everything looks really good, especially like these cab corners and stuff. Tell me what you guys think. I don't feel like I need to clear coat it just because of how well it's coming out. Now this door is pretty dry, so I'll probably cut it with some compound before waxing it more again. But it's coming along. Let's go ahead and get these brakes figured. So from looking here, it looks like your green is, I'll have to look at passenger or driver stop, yellow is passenger driver stop, and then the brown is your rear running lights. So let's look up under here. Look up under here and see where our brown is coming out. Looks like this one right here. So let's check power to that real quick. I'm just coming right here, and then I'll check to a body ground. Got our lights on. Great. All right, so we got good power there. Let's check it right here under the firewall. I'm gonna say we have some kind of connection issue somewhere, which is much cheaper than a light switch. I'll show y'all real quick. The voltmeter that I use is this Klein Tools MM400. I've had this one for a good couple, probably a year now, and it seems to hold up pretty well. It's kind of glitchy when the battery gets low. You know, I would be interested in trying a different one at some point in time, but this one seemed to do really well for me, and it's fully automatic, so it's real convenient and easy to use. All right, so I cannot for the life of me get this connection right here loose, so I'm gonna try to probe in right there. Just about 11.84. That should be plenty. So we're okay there. Let's run back to the back here and see what it looks like there. All right, so we got two connections right here. Otherwise, it seems to be a straight shot. Other than there might be some connectors going on in there, I'm not sure. Let's see what we have here. And 8. Might not be getting a good ground. It's actually okay, not terrible there. Yeah. All right, guys, so we've been about 20 miles on the truck, riding around. Been doing really good so far. Real bumpy ride. Hopefully the wind blowing it and messing up the mic too much so you guys can hear me all right. But I'm here at the hardware store. We're gonna run inside, get some stuff so we can get cleaning up the rear of this frame and get it painted so we can go and get this bed on top of it. All right, y'all, so we're back at the house. The truck's been doing really good so far. We've put over 30 miles on it. The only thing that I've really noticed on it is the float height appears to be a little high on it. So when after you cut it off, it weeps a little bit and it floods out a little bit when you go to crank it up. But otherwise, it's been doing really good going around town. We did have some makeshift lights on there for the time being, you know, so we didn't get pulled over or anything. After checking everything out, I did realize that all our connections and everything look good. It's just the sockets themselves are are bad on those, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and order a new set of taillights for this truck, but I'll get to that soon and we'll be able to get them on there. We ran by the hardware store and got some 4x6s that we can put for a base to put underneath the bed. What we're going to do now is I've already wire brushed everything. We might knock off a few more things on there, a little bit more crud, and then we'll hit everything with the air compressor, knock it off really good, tape off the back of this truck, and try to spray paint this thing. I've got some Rust-Oleum semi-gloss that we're going to hit everything with real thick on the back of this truck. What we're going to use with that, this can gun from Crest Industries. Okay, so this thing works awesome. I've never really used one of these, but this is making it so nice. All right, so there it is. I feel like it came out looking pretty good. It's got a nice thick semi-gloss. Obviously this originally wouldn't have been painted, but so I can't say it looks factory, but I feel like it looks a little bit better than rust. So we're gonna go ahead and now and get those trimmed up so we can get them stuck on here so we can start working towards getting that bed put on.
No. See where it hit it right across. Look on the other side, Mike. It shows you. The other side. Break wrist. Yep.
All right, y'all, so there it is. Fresh new paint, fresh wood on there. Right now my dad's measuring it. We're gonna get it cut to length. We're gonna back up to this bed and try to get it set on here.
Oops. Yeah, that worked. I think I'll be all right. Just like that. And now just tip it over. Just slide it. I don't know, it's not going down. Oh. It's not going down. Take it.
All right, y'all, there it is, our 66 F350 on the road for the first time in tomorrow 32 years. It's been doing super well. As you saw, we spruced her up a little bit, got this bed thrown on. This is going to be my drive around truck, be able to come around and meet you guys at car shows and stuff, and drag the Porsche behind this and our other builds. Tell me what you guys think of this build so far. We've got $600 in it at this point between all the materials and everything that we've put into it so far. I'd say that's a pretty good deal for this truck. So you really can still do budget builds and get builds at a decent price today. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. We're pushing the sunset, almost dark. We're going to loop this thing around a few more times. I just want to thank everyone again so much for all the positive support that we've had on this channel. If you guys want to see more on this build and other builds, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Have a good night.